The MTA is interested in hearing from you, the customer, about its many transit services. Commuter Connections recently took to the streets for your comments and questions. And here to answer your questions is MTA Safety Officer Phil Thomas. Hey, Phil.
Hey, how are you, Joanna?
Oh, I'm good. We got lots of stuff to talk about, so let's save it to the customers. Now, here's our first question.
My name is Melissa St. Rose. I live in Pikesville, and my question is, why are your drivers for the 54 never on time?
So we have questions about why is that 54 bus late?
The number 54 bus runs from Northwest Hospital to Mondawmin. It runs along a main corridor, which is Park Heights Avenue, which is heavily congested.
Yes, it is.
And that will delay traffic. And the number of people that ride to number 54 is a heavy riding bus. So
all those factors kind of add up with delays.
Yes,
and then people understand. I mean, there's, like you said, traffic's one thing.
Traffic.
If there are detours and delays, ridership, because you have to
correct.
stop and board and let people on and off.
That is correct.
And then suppose you have someone who's a disabled person, you have to let out the ramp. So there's any number of reasons why
There's a number of reasons why, and the amount of people that actually gets on,
Yeah.
it takes a while for 10, 20, 30 people to get onto the service.
So I guess what we would suggest is that if there's a consistent problem, they should report it to our customer service
That is
folks
correct.
so they can go out and monitor the line.
That is correct.
Good answer. I like helping you out on that one. Our next question.
Hi, my name is Leslie Strimmel and I live in Perryville, Maryland. Will the MTA add weekend service to the MARC train?
So we have a question about extending MARC weekend service. And you know, this question comes up just about every couple of months.
Yes,
so tell
yes.
us, what's the MTA thinking about with regard to MARC weekend service?
Well, the weekend service for MARC is actually been planned, and the only problem that they have now is that funding for the service itself.
Everything's about funding, yeah.
Yes, and MARC has actually came up with the schedule, but they cannot put it into service until the funding is available.
So folks, you know, we just got to get the money together for
Yes,
that, and
that is
maybe it'll
correct.
happen.
That's
good
correct.
to know, but it's good to know that there are plans out
There
there.
are plans out there.
Now our next question.
My name Dilraj Dil. I moved here 4 months ago. Would like to know if the mobility taxi is only for senior citizen or for other people to use for transfers.
So we have a question about mobility and who are the actual clients that are eligible to use the service. So what can you tell us about that?
Well, mobility is for anyone that qualifies. You have to go and fill out a application.
Correct.
And if you have some type of disability, or if you are a senior over the age of, I believe it's 62, and you will qualify. Some service is directly just for the handicap. Some service we do have for anyone that's actually
Correct.
have a disability. But you do have to fill out the application.
So there's a certification process.
There's certification, there's a process, and if you qualify, you can use
Then you
any
can
of
write
the
it.
service.
And it doesn't matter about age. So
It doesn't
I guess
matter.
what we'd advise people to do, they need to go on, there's a mobility website, so they can go
That's
on the
correct.
mobility website and find out some of the criteria. And then I think we had the mobility folks here and they talked about, they go through and they kind of assess whether or not you need to be on full mobility or you can kind of go between mobility and regular service.
That's
Because
correct.
you know, that's one of the fastest growing modes that we have, which is MTA mobility.
Yes, and it depends on if you have a handicap,
Yeah.
you may need full service. And
Right.
some handicap do not need the full
They
service.
can just use
go in
regular
between.
full, yeah,
That's
exactly.
correct.
Now our next question.
My name is Suraj Bulusu. I stay up north in Caucasville. The question that I have for MTA is there are some light rail services up to North Avenue and which don't come up till downtown. We would like to know if there is any specific reason for that, or
So we have a question about our light rail service related to some of the points where it stops. And North Avenue being one of the questions, but I know there are light rail system stops at other places like Cromwell, or it may stop at Penn Station. So why does it end at North Avenue specifically in some cases?
Well, it really is dealing with the time of the service.
You're right.
And the schedule itself. Some trains are actually designated to end service at North Avenue.
Okay.
And that's probably the reason why they stop there at North Avenue. Or at certain times of the day,
It can go straight
It
through.
can go straight
okay,
through.
so it just depends on the schedule.
It just-
And is that clearly delineated on the schedule? It lets them know which ones go, you know, when you have a straight through train or BWI train, I should say, as
Right.
opposed to just a North Avenue train.
yes, it is in the schedule to state that this train will terminate service at North Avenue.
That sounds great. So we tell folks go to the website,
Go to the website.
look at the schedule,
That's
and
correct.
if all else fails, call customer service. They'll help you out a little bit.
539-5000.
I like it. And now our next question.
My name is Patricia Hill. I'm from Severn, Maryland, and my question is, why can't they have an officer stationed on the train for safety?
So here we have a question in reference to security and safety related to light rail. Now here's the thing, light rail is an open system, so you don't have to go into a station to get in there. You can literally walk on the train. Do you know of what if any efforts are going on with MTA police to kind of help with security on that system?
Well, you will see more police officers on the service itself. You also, they do have undercover officers
and
on
they
the
have
train.
fare inspectors too,
They have
right?
fare inspectors
Okay.
who's actually checking the fares themselves, which are part of the police department.
Okay.
So there is an increase of ridership
Presence and
by
things
by the MTA police.
That's good. And if we say to customers all the time, if you feel unsafe, call and report if you're seeing a pattern or there's a specific station where you kind of see something. What they say, if you see something,
Say
something. So we're going to tell folks, let us know if there's a problem.
That is correct.
Now our next question.
And my name is Ruth Caulfield, and my question to MTA is, will there be expansion of the subway here in Baltimore to be a little bit more comparable to DC?
So folks are having questions about our current MTA Metro subway system.
Yes.
I'd be surprised if some folks don't even know we have it. But are there any plans to expand it? I know there's a red line, but are there any plans to expand the existing line that's currently under the streets in Baltimore?
There are no plans at this time to
Okay.
extend the Metro service, but we do have the red line, as you mentioned, and the purple line.
So there's
the
greater
red
connectivity.
Line, yes, the red line will be running east and west, and the purple line, which will run from Montgomery County to Prince George's County.
That sounds great. So there's hope, folks, but not particularly on the existing line. Now, our next and last question is one we received by email from Melissa Griffin of Columbia, Maryland. Melissa writes, some time ago, I recall seeing something in MTA News about MTA conducting safety drills with emergency responders in our area. How often are the drills conducted and how effective are they in preparing responders for emergencies on transit? So tell us about emergency drills. I mean, this is your area of purview.
This is my area of expertise. Well, we actually have a drill designated for each mode every once a year.
Okay.
We do one for light rail, one for the subway system, for MARC, and for bus.
Okay. Well, thank you so much,
Well,
Phil.
thank you.
I appreciate you being here. You have to come back and share more information with
That
us.
sounds good.
Take care. If you have questions you'd like to ask the MTA, visit us online at mta.maryland.gov or check us out on Facebook or Twitter. Over the holiday period, the MTA reached out to the community in an effort to say thank you to its many customers with free candy canes, free pictures, and Santa, and the popular Metro Train Garden display at Mondawmin Metro Station.
For many MTA passengers, the holiday season officially begins with the opening of Santa's Place and the Subway City Train Garden.
I love it. I think it's a beautiful, wonderful thing, and I think it should be here every year.
Located on the mezzanine level of the Mondawmin Metro subway station, Santa's Place is easily accessible to both bus and Metro passengers. And for some parents, a visit here has become an annual tradition.
It's great for them to reach out to the community in this way.
The kids need something, to believe in, and this makes them happy. A lot of kids don't have a reason to be happy.
We started 7 years ago with just the trains. Actually, it was just a platform with plexiglass going around, and we just had the trains sitting there with a few houses, and each year we have progressed.
From the train garden, the project has grown to include visits from Santa and Mrs. Claus, free photos for the children, music, and candy canes. MTA volunteers organize the activities.
And so they love pushing the buttons, they love watching it, they love seeing the train. The kids, all the kids I see, they just love it. And then, of course, right away, I want a train set. Then the parents look at us, But the older adults too. You'd be surprised how many of the older adults are amazed at this.
I am so overwhelmed with a lot of help from the MTA folks.
Mrs. Claus says none of this would be possible without the MTA.
A lot of them are volunteering their time on a Saturday where they would normally be spending time with their family, and I tell you, Santa and I really, really appreciate it very much.
While Santa takes care of the wish list and photos, Mrs. Claus reads holiday stories to the young and not so young. MTA volunteers have added new twists every year and promise to keep delivering holiday surprises here at Santa's Place.
Coming up next, the MTA has a few employment opportunities you may be interested in. That's ahead next, so stay with us.